welcome to Amrita by the Book. My name is Amrita. This is my booktube, and today I'm doing a $1 ebook haul, and there's a tiny bit of history to it. So what happened was around late last year, I'm not sure when, I decided to go on a book buying moratorium, and that's because the pandemic started early last year. I can't believe it. But anyway, I went a little bit crazy, and I like retail therapy, so I think I was just buying all the books that I could just to make myself feel better. And we weren't allowed delivery, like physical book deliveries and stuff, like getting anything delivered to our house was a bit of a struggle. So I was just buying everything in ebook form. And I like ebooks, and I usually buy ebooks as well. But literally what happened was that I just bought all the books. I would see something and I would be like, yeah, that sounds cheap, I'll get it. And then at some point towards the mid to latter half of the year, I realized I just bought so many books that I have no idea when I'm going to get through them. Now, I don't feel bad about having a giant TBR because I'm like, well, that's the nature of TBRs. But I do like to finish things that I have bought. I never thought that I would grow up into the kind of person that has books on their shelves, physical or virtual, and wouldn't read them. I always thought that people like that were weird, and now I'm one of those people because I just have so many books that I stress bought. So I went on a book buying moratorium, and I didn't buy anything for a long time, and I've been shockingly good about it. Like, I genuinely didn't buy anything except for one book in March, which I bought for the readathon. And again, joke's on me because I think I've read like about 30% of it, and it was a book that I was supposed to have finished in March. Sorry. But recently I've been going through a few things in my personal life. I celebrated my second birthday in lockdown. I hate everything so much, and we're back in lockdown, and this second wave of lockdown is so much worse than the first one. Anyway, so I needed to do a bit of retail therapy, and my preferred retail therapy is with books. So I decided I was going to just check out if there were any books going for free that I wanted to buy. And it turned out there were a bunch of books that I wanted to get. And I thought this was also a good idea for a video because I always talk about how I buy like very random things and I read very random things that people, if you are watching this channel, because it's a pandemic channel and I've been reading mostly fantasy and romance during this period, that's what I've been talking about. So there's a lot of people out there who are not really aware of just how weird I can get in my reading tastes. So I thought that this was like a great way to just introduce you to the kind of books that I think make perfect sense for me to buy and read at some point. Now, these are all things that I got off the Amazon Kindle store. They were being offered either for free or for something that was like really cheap, or it was part of Prime Reading, etc. I haven't included anything of like Kindle Unlimited or anything. I canceled my Unlimited subscription. I can't really participate in the Amazon boycott where I live and in my situation, but I feel like I can do like a little thing here or there. So that was one of the things that I did. But altogether, I think I paid $1 total for everything. So here's a list of things that I got. Number one is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, which is part of Prime Reading right now. And I don't know if this is something that I will enjoy. I know that it is incredibly popular on BookTube and Bookstagram. And a lot of people that I follow have really loved it. And a lot of people I follow have not loved it. So I am interested to know how I will fall on that particular spectrum. Next up, I got a copy of The Viscount and the Vicar's Daughter by Mimi Matthews, who is a romance author that I have read before. I have not read this particular book, and it was available for free, and I got it. It's a Victorian set romance, I believe, and I don't really read a lot of Victorian set romances, so I'm really curious to see what this will be like. Next is The Red House Mystery by A.A. Milne, and this is one of the books that I paid for, and I got it because it had been on my TBR for a long time. I've never read it before, but also a lot of people on my timeline have been going through this list of murder books that were mentioned in the book 8 Perfect Murders. So Lana did a video a while back, and I think Hugo from Scientist Reading World is also doing one. Rosie did the ABC Murders for it, and I will link to all of those down below in my description so you can just check them out. I have read most of those books that are mentioned in the 8 Perfect Murders. I have not read the book itself, 8 Perfect Murders. But I was like, oh, like this is a book that I've been meaning to read, so it's available for like dirt cheap, so I got it. Next, I got Redhanded, 20 Criminal Cases That Shook India by Souvik Bhadra, and you know what? There's a real dichotomy between like true crime as it's published elsewhere and true crime in India. Like when I'm reading something that's British or American, it's usually like, look at this guy, he was like a normal human being, and then all of a sudden he turned into a cannibal and started eating the faces of his neighbors. What was that about? But in India, it's always like, here's this child, he grew up in a slum, and now he is the crime kingpin of like 20 different countries. And it's always like really graphic and kind of like, you know, like truth is stranger than fiction. That's basically what crime is like in India, or at least true crime is like in India. So I always try to get true crime novels that are set in India because they're just so lurid in a way that I don't think people really write true crime outside of India anymore. You know, if you read a lot of like 1930s or 40s crime novels or true crime novels, then you know the type that I'm talking about. And India actually still makes those kinds of novels. And when I'm in the mood for it, it's actually a lot of fun. So, I mean, it's real people and their tragedies. I shouldn't be saying it's fun, but you know me, I'm sick in the head. Next, I got Gabriella by Brenda Hyatt, and I don't know anything about her. I've never read a Brenda Hyatt novel in my life, but it's a Regency romance. I like the cover, and I got it because I like Regency romances. Next, I found this collection that was going for free. It's called the Dragon Blood Collection by Lindsay Buroker. I have no idea what it's about because the description in the, for the title and the reviews that people had left, they were of seemingly completely different books. So I have no idea what that's about. Like maybe she updated her page and like updated, there's like a second edition of the book that's like very different, and those were old reviews. I don't know, but it was free. It has dragons in it. You know I like dragons, so I got it, and I think it's probably going to be a shifter romance, and I'm probably going to regret it, but I don't care. It was free. What am I going to complain about? Now, there are a ton of these shifter paranormal type collections of fantasy romances available for free on Kindle. I don't know if this is true all the time or if I just stumbled onto a period where they were all on sale. But I got the one that was reviewed best out of all the collections. And this one, it has like demons and fae and werewolves and vampires and everything. And I genuinely got it because one of the reviews said it was like a parson's egg. And I've never heard that term before. And it actually sent me down this Google hole trying to find out what a parson's egg was, and it apparently dates back to the 19th century or something, where there was a cartoon in a British newspaper of this bishop sharing the breakfast table with the curate, and he looks at the curate's plate and says, your egg looks like it's bad. And then the poor curate says, oh no sir, like some parts of it are indeed very good, you know, just to curry favor. And that apparently turned into this popular usage where a curate's egg or a parson's egg is something that is collectively bad, but certain bits of it are quite good. So apparently that's what this collection is. There's like some of them that are really bad, but some of the books are apparently quite good. So I'm intrigued, and it was free, so I got it. Next, I found a free copy of Women and Politeness in 18th Century England, and I mean, those are all things that I'm interested in, so I got that. I also got a copy of the Persian World, which traces the evolution and spread of the Persian language throughout Asia. And this is really interesting to me because, as I've mentioned earlier on my channel, I started watching a few Turkish dramas earlier this year or like late last year, and I was actually kind of surprised to find out that I was a passive speaker of Turkish, about 30% or so, and I realize it's because I also understand Urdu, which, you know, evolved from Persian. So this is a book that interests me. I got Envy, Poison and Death, Women on Trial in Ancient Athens, and I mean, again, murder, sure, but true crime in the ancient world. I mean, that sounds amazing. I hope it's amazing. I hope it's not like dry and boring. I also got a copy of Gender and Genre in Folklore in Middle India, and I have to be honest, like this is an aspirational thing. Like it was available for free, so I got it, but I have no idea if I'll actually be interested in reading this. It's one of those very few things that I get because I feel like I might be interested in it that somewhere down the road, and I wouldn't have gotten it if it had been like, you know, like paid, but it was free. There might be a point when I would need to check this. Maybe there'll be something that I want to write, and this would be an excellent resource, so I got it just in case. And the very last book that I got was Mushroom Season by Nina Leon, and this is again a free book, and I got it, I have to be honest, because it's a bit of an in-joke with a few of my friends. I think this book is really about the hallucinogenic properties of eating mushrooms and how that could be helpful in like creative and psychological processes. And apparently it's very well written, and it's a must read for people who are interested in like nature therapy and stuff like that. I don't know, I will try and read it though, because I like the cover, I like the concept. It makes me laugh that it's about mushrooms, and my friends and I have all been incredibly freaked out by mushrooms ever since we read Silvia Moreno Garcia's last book. So yeah, I got all of these. For more videos, please hit the subscribe button.